Dispelling the dangerous myth of sugar addiction. Really? That's a title to an article? There's no myth to dispel, and each one of us knows this from our childhood binges at Halloween. It's real, it's not a myth, and everyone knows it. But guess what? I actually don't have a problem with the carbs and sugar. And if you are fat adapted, neither should you. How is a type 1 diabetic like my friend Jeff able to eat a piece of his favorite almond cake without insulin and thrive by eating it? OFM actually allows you to take advantage of those carbs and sugars, even large amounts, for 3 key reasons I'll discuss today. Recently, there's been a lot of online media coming from the conventional sports nutrition experts in defense of carbs and sugars, including a lot of carbs and sugars. And guess what? I actually don't have a problem with the carbs, and you shouldn't either if you're fat adapted. The key is to maintain and grow your carb tolerance so you can have the ability to use them for performance when it counts without the very real and serious downside impacts. Now, how do you do this? Ironically, by optimizing your fat metabolism. OFM gives you the metabolic freedom to use carbs strategically for performance, as well as being able to enjoy them stress-free when the odd social occasion comes up, or even when you have that odd urge to strike you. Now, I'd like to use a real live living example, and it's my friend Jeff Hersher. And he's here enjoying a piece of the famous almond cake and an espresso in San Bartolome, Gran Canaria during a ride. Jeff and I, we're constantly laughing and joking about his indulgences, like we're just like a couple of punk kids doing something dangerous and getting away with it, because Jeff is a type 1 diabetic. And he's able to control his blood sugar without any exogenous insulin, even when he has a sweet treat on a ride. Not only does he fully enjoy his almond cake, but the strategic timing of these carbs and caffeine allows him to feel strong on the back half of his ride. The use of strategically placed carbohydrates in Vespa has allowed him to literally go beyond keto to improve both his health and his performance. Now, Jeff's backstory prior to becoming a type 1 diabetic is this. He did exactly what all the articles and podcasts are saying to do to perform and be healthy. And his type 1 diabetes developed exactly as a result of following all this sort of expert advice.
My name is Joseph, but my nickname is Jeff. I'm 52 years old. I live in Austria, in Vienna. This is the capital of Austria. 2014. Then this was a really disruption in my life, I would say. There I got a diagnosis of diabetes type 1. And it was a really, when I think back to this time, I was really shocked, and I thought, why me? I always did sports, and I'm a really healthy person, and I thought I care for my body and for my mind also. And then I'm sitting there with the doctors, and he said diabetes. This was really the first moments and the first days or the first weeks was awful when I'm thinking to this time. Started to do Yeah, research on the internet how one can treat this diabetes, and then I heard from this low carb and ketogenic diets, and there was so much information about this. The one says it's the most dangerous you can do with your body. The other says it's the best what you can do. And then I got into more details and found them really good books. And I wanted to know what can I do additionally to feel better. And then I don't know why or where I found this Vespa. And I read all those instructions on the Vespa webpage. There was a lot good information how to use it, and then I can remember I wrote via Facebook to Peter and told him that I'm a diabetic and how to use this, and he gave me some support and advice at this time. I felt really good, and then I kept using Vespa all the years along, and where I subscribed for a race which is called Ötztaler Marathon. This is a one-day race where you have to go 230 kilometers and about 5.5 thousand meters uphill. And I did this race 2 years before. This was the next phase when I started research how metabolism works. And this was for me then the point to say, okay, let's try this. Because when if this is really true, when there is no insulin need for getting the sugar into the cells, then of course I can add some carbohydrates when I need it in the higher intensities. And in this Ötztaler Radmarathon, this was the surprise. Yeah, this was the second great surprise in this Ötztaler Radmarathon, because there are three tough climbs, and I was about 20% faster on all those four climbs, than the 2 years before. And at the end of last year, in 2019, I thought, okay, now I know that much about how to combine these energy sources, and I know they don't harm me. Now let's say let's check if I can do even better, and then I subscribe to the mentorship with Peter, and and within short time I got so many new stuff which I learned and which helped me, which I couldn't imagine. I always thought I knew everything about keto and fat metabolism.
While in Jeff's case it was type 1 diabetes, anyone who is chronically consuming lots of concentrated carbohydrates won't escape the consequences. Like I say, if you are consuming a lot of carbohydrates, it's not a matter of if you're going to have a health issue, it's a matter of when and what form. This is what all the expert advice fails to take into consideration in these articles and podcasts and media. So, who are they kidding except themselves? Unfortunately, while most people pursuing a sport know the overconsumption of carbs and certainly sugar have serious health consequences, many simply don't really get it because, like Jeff, they don't know what they don't know until the unintended consequences happen. Add to this, carbohydrate-based products still make up the majority of quote-unquote nutrition. I want to change that. They're energy products. They're not nutrition. Offered by retailers. This is what the problem is. And while these products have their place, they are not the only options. So combined with these media pieces and all this retailer stuff, it's not hard to see how the consumer is sold, told, and controlled by the information others want us to see most of the time. And it's all with good intentions. So let's examine just 3 of the main reasons OFM allows you to have your health cake and occasionally eat some cake too, just like Jeff. Optimizing fat metabolism optimizes hormonal balance. When this comes to carbohydrate uptake and utilization, this means high insulin sensitivity. So your body wants and needs to quickly and efficiently drive glucose into your cells for the rapid energy needed for aerobic threshold work and surges into anaerobic glycolysis. Now, unlike keto, OFM does not downregulate your pyruvate dehydrogenase pathway, so your cells can make full use of the glucose immediately and on demand. Now, second, OFM increases your vascular distensibility. Now, what am I talking about? These are your pipes, your arteries, your veins, capillaries, and microcapillaries that feed your cells to make energy. OFM dramatically reduces the systemic inflammation of your blood vessels, which significantly increases their capacity to their potential size. It is well known that lots of glucose and lots of insulin in your blood contracts and stiffen these blood vessels through inflammation, and this actually is the primary cause of high blood pressure. Sorry, folks, it's not the salt. Higher capacity to circulate blood means more oxygen, energy, and nutrients into the cells, and more capacity to move CO2, waste products, and heat out of those cells for greater energy capacity, whether you are burning fat, ketones, or glucose. And third, optimizing fat metabolism increases your mitochondria. Fat metabolism is not simply about energy production like glucose. It is about health and robustness. Every component of your body is composed of fats, including cholesterol, hormones, enzymes, cell walls, and especially your mitochondria. They're all made via lipid-based metabolic pathways. On the other hand, glucose is simply a quick, immediate energy source, and when used in large amounts, creates considerable oxidative stress, which impacts your mitochondria, and not in a good way. Now, while mitochondria prefer to burn fat, they will use glucose when needed, when oxygen availability is limited to meet the energy demand, or when hormonal signaling forces them to use glucose over fat. In these situations, by optimizing your fat metabolism, you have robust mitochondria, which have both greater capacity to produce energy regardless of the energy substrate, and you have a lot more matches to burn, as they say in cycling, if it happens that you are racing all out where significant oxidative stress occurs. Now, all this yields what we call metabolic freedom. And when you gain the metabolic freedom offered by OFM, your body is actually better equipped to not only handle those boluses of carbohydrates, but actually benefit from them in terms of performance and as an adaptive stress to signal to your cells to become more robust in every way. Most of all, it allows you to live life to the fullest. So, be like Jeff before those unintended consequences impact you. If you are interested in learning more, download our free ebooks for a deeper dive here and here, or grab a 12-pack of Vespa and, without changing a thing, experience and get a taste of what fat-adapted performance is all about. And when you're ready, we offer personalized and group guidance so that you can summit your mountain to peak health and performance in every aspect of your life.